All right, are you ready? What, sir?
Okay, so no, thank you, bro.
All right. Okay, 1, 2. Thank you. Jude. Yes, I'm here. Okay.
All right, MC. Mommy, don't go yet. Only 2 of you. You can't join them now. Fast. Okay. Go and join them. Join. Mommy, shift. Sir, please shift. Please shift. Please shift. Okay. Only 2 of you. Come to me. You've not started inside.
You started.
No. Let me just do my own. MC, let's just do our own here. Because that one. Yeah.
All right.
No. Just.
We have a mic.
No, if I do it, I can send to him. Sir? No, don't say another one.
That's another event.
Another event.
That's
Another event.
We have lighting.
Thank you very much. And I put on notice any Muslim here present to get ready for the prayer. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all our Muslim brothers and sisters in the house. Everything.
Our help is in the name of God who made heaven and earth. Merciful Father, we have gathered in duty and in friendship to eulogize this person, eulogize your strength of character, to have given us this opportunity to be here. We thank you for the purpose of our presence here. We ask you, O Lord, to guide the process of this day, and that what we do here today will also be a springboard for the development of both human capital and the local government system. To whom much is given, much is expected. And we appreciate you, Lord, as we reward them today. Let it be part of encouragement for more. We ask this through Christ our Lord. I will also pray for journey mercies as most of them are traveling back to their various places. We make our prayers through Christ our Lord.
Amen. Thank you very much. May Almighty God answer our prayers and supplications, and to our Christian brothers and sisters I say, praise the Lord. Thank you very much. Going forward, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to put on notice that the next event will be the first session where a very distinguished professor in Nigeria, a senior academia, and a very ranking member of the Nigerian public will be addressing the core of repositioning the local government administration system for accelerated growth. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I bring to the microphone Professor of Public Sector, Financial Department and Governance, the Department of Public Administration, the University of Abuja, Professor James A. Ajobo. Please put hands together this time. Thank you.
The organizers of this occasion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols observed. The title of the paper is Repositioning Local Government for Accelerated Grassroots Development. Okay. The creation of local government anywhere in the world stems from the need to facilitate development at the grassroots. Governance at the local level therefore plays a crucial role in ensuring effectiveness and provision of goods and services, public goods and services, to the vast rural population. According to Olowu, among the many potential roles of the local government in the development process are the following. 1. Local government helps to inculcate in people positive citizenship attitudes, such as consideration for self-control, community responsibility, and identity. 2. Providing basic community services, which both improve the quality of people's lives and enable the community to generate and attract economic activities, and helping people, especially in the rural areas, to organize themselves for the mobilization and effective management of community resources and central government programs, respectively. 3. To make appropriate services and development activities responsive to local wishes and initiatives by devolving or delegating them to local representative bodies. And finally, by mobilizing of human and material resources through the involvement of members of the public in their development. It is against this background that this paper assesses Nigeria's experience with local government administration and the factors militating against local government in providing socioeconomic services at the local level, with a view to repositioning local government for accelerated grassroots development. Now, at this juncture, we are going to look at two basic concepts: the concept of local government and the concept of grassroots. We start with the concept of local government. The concept of local government can hardly be given a one-for-all kind of definition. This definitional quagmire has been noted in the literature. For instance, Arasi advances the view that local government means different things to different people. Despite the multiplicity of the definitions, one of the most articulated definitions of local government was given by the 1976 Civil Service Reforms. 1976 Local Government Reform Guidelines. The guidelines views local government as the government at the local level, exercised through representative councils, established by law to exercise specific functions within the defined areas. Olukotu also advised that local government refers to public sector institutions at the lowest subnational level of government, legally and constitutionally recognized and mandated to carry out specific functions at the community level. According to our, local government is a political authority that is intended to decentralize political power. Yoha, Behi and Aya view local government as the management of local affairs by the people of a specific locality. Ademoleku defines local government as a bureaucracy that must perform the role of planning, coordinating, controlling, and directing the operations of the local affairs. So while the preceding conceptions of local government broadly specify local government as a political and administrative institution, having appropriate governance structures for running the affairs of people at the grassroots, it is important to say that not all political structures for the provision of governmental services at the grassroots level can be regarded as local government. Local governments must have the political status and power to govern within a given area. As argued by Asaju, a local government must be a legal entity distinct from the state and federal government and administered by democratically elected officials. He also argued that local government must have specific power to perform a range of functions assigned to it by law and enjoy substantial autonomy to perform an array of functions, plan, formulate, and execute its policies, programs, projects, and its own rules and regulations as deemed for its local needs. So implicit in the above definition are therefore certain salient features or distinguishing characteristics of local government. One, local government must operate within a defined territory or geographical area. It must have certain population living within the confines of a defined territory. It must operate at the local or grassroots level. Local government must have a range of functionally designated functions to perform. It must have a relative autonomy or independence. It is therefore a legal entity of its own and can sue and be sued. It has its own council composed of elected representatives. It is a lower level government in the usury political system and lowest level government in the federal three-level government. So we look at grassroots development. Now there is also a need to explain what is meant by grassroots. Because it has been grassroots development, because it has been loosely defined in the literature. This has been rapidly captured by Aro, who has said that grassroots development has a deep foundation, making it challenging to give a one for all kind of the meaning. He therefore avoids that the term grassroots development symbolizes a set of guidelines to improve the well-being of rural dwellers that usually have a vast population itself. Grassroots development is often conflicted with community and rural development, and generally used as a framework to measure the impact of community growth and expansion. Here in this context, particular attention is paid to the developmental indicators such as organization capacity, the position of the community, living standard, civic and social setting, skill, knowledge, and attitudes. Despite the seeming ambiguity surrounding the meaning of grassroots development, this study reviewed relied on the definition given by the World Bank. The World Bank used grassroots development in terms of the methods and strategies designed to promote the well-being of a specified group of people, particularly those in local areas. The definition given by Evang and Evang is not as general as that of the World Bank. They also perceive grassroots development as an alternative to the trickle-down approaches to local development in poor countries. George advances the view that grassroots development develops the approaches and initiatives and capacity building initiatives aimed at empowering vulnerable communities to develop following their needs and values. Viewed in this sense, grassroots development focuses on the mechanism of development that emphasizes the trickle-down method or the top-bottom approach, but emphasizes the bottom-up approach to development, which strengthens the participation of the local population in addressing local issues, as well as promoting and protecting the interests of the local inhabitants. Now, we look at the strengths of local government system in rural development. In Nigeria, local governments ought to play vital roles in sustaining the growing trend in rural development. Joko insisted that our plan for economic renewal will be accompanied by mobilizing the local people. We must propose ways to stimulate foreign investment and increase exports to stimulate growth and create more jobs, to stimulate domestic investment. the central government should allocate more funds to our local government administration, and reduce some of its concurrent functions so that local government may have enough money for economic development. But then they had this to say. From this perspective, local government has been seen as a system of local administration under which local communities and towns are organized to maintain law and order, provide limited range of social services, public amenities, and encourage cooperation and participation of the inhabitants in joint endeavor towards the improvement of their conditions of living. In the world of Lewe, nations, both developed and developing nations, local government administration has been accepted as a vital instrument to accelerate and sustain rural development through agriculture, industrialization, and infrastructure, transport and communication, and rural electrification. It is the recognition of this essential function that led to the entrenchment of Section 7, Subsection 3 of the 1979 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the foundation of an economic planning board in each state to enable local councils to participate effectively in economic planning of the state. Among the fundamental objectives of establishing local government administration is the mobilization of human and material resources through the active involvement of members of the public in the local socio-economic development program. This is because the local government is expected to render some vital services and encourage development activities among the communities that make up the local government area. They also help the rural people to get abreast with the mechanism and modern technique of agricultural production, implementing our national economic development plans, takes active part in the provision of quick maturing, high-yielding varieties of seed, chemicals, fertilizer, insecticide, mechanization of agricultural operations that meet modern demand. The application and mechanism of these inputs and machinery are taught to the rural farmers by the local government agricultural extension officer, who undertake visits to farmers and their farm plots. Local government administration facilitates industrialization by encouraging small-scale industrialization, such as garri processing industry, palm oil processing industries, rice mill industry, bag making, soap production, shoe industries, etc. These industries could be encouraged by provision of land, sub-loans, credit facilities, and bulldozer by the local government to enable them take off. Local government sees to the allocation of adequate resources in terms of foreign exchange and scarce materials for sustained growth of small-scale industries. The local government is actively involved in the grading, construction, and maintenance of rural roads, rural community roads, and non-motorable link roads leading to various villages are graded, constructed, and maintained to enable the rural people to have easy access to the cities and their local government quarters. I will not forget the boosting and sustaining increase in national income by participating in mass transit programs. Many local government councils in Nigeria have embarked on rural education to increase the standard of socio-economic and political life of the people, encourage small-scale and cottage industries, and help in pumping water for irrigation, hairdressing, welding, and electrical workshops, etc. These roads are aimed at encouraging economic growth and development of the rural areas. Now, with all this strength of the local government in terms of rural development, local governments have undergone several reforms in Nigeria in order for local government to fulfill its mandate of bringing development to the grassroots. So many reforms were carried out. I don't know, for the purpose of time, I may not go into all the detail, but at least I can mention them briefly. Yes. Now, we have a pre-1976, local government reforms in Nigeria. The Winer-Logexa identified 4 phases the Nigerian local government system had passed through. He stated that each phase had a distinct set of philosophy on the purpose of local government. The first phase was the period of colonial rule, when the native authority system was invoked. The philosophy of this period was administrative patterns at the local level to achieve the goal of colonial rule. The second phase was the period between 1952 and 1966, which was characterized by a series of reforms designed to enhance the participation of the people in the affairs of the locality. It started in the eastern and western regions in the early part of the 1950s. Now the third phase was between 1966 and 1976, and it witnessed the reversal of some of the values of participatory local government that started in the pre-independence era. In some states like the Midwest, local government was designed as development administration and seen as an extension of the state. The fourth phase was the period the reforms of local government were undertaken by the federal government to have a uniform local government system. This was when the 1976 local government reform was carried out. Now we look at the 1976 local government reforms. Now, for the first time in 1976, in the annals of local government in Nigeria, the reform provided for mutual purpose single-tier local government councils. Consequently, they abolished the divisional local administrative system practiced in various parts of the federation. Besides, the reform made prescription of 150,000 as a minimum population and 800,000 as the maximum population for each local government area. On the aspect of political functionary, the reform made provision for elected local government members. The reform also made provision for revenue grants from federal and state government. Thus, the federal and state governments were to give regular financial allocations to local government to be shared by 25% equity and 75% population. Now, now we look at go ahead. We look at the 1984 reforms. 1984, go back to 1984. Now the Shekari also led civil administration that came to power on October 1st, 1979, was disturbed by the low performance of the Nigerian local government system. It therefore planned to reposition them. However, the reform proposal did not materialize because of the military incursion into the political space on December 31st, 1983. The military government led by Major General Muhammad Buhari passed the new local government councils created in the Second Republic. It nevertheless retained those established in 1976. The Buhari-led military administration also recognized the need to reposition the local government system as proposed by the former civilian government. Consequently, it set up the Local Government Reform Committee in 1984 with the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Ibrahim Dazuki, as chairman. In its findings, the committee blamed the poor performance of the third-tier government on so many factors, which included local government commenting on the report of the Executive Committee. It had noted that the committee made very striking recommendations to make the local government perform its function. This included the view that the creation of new local government areas should be undertaken on a 10-year interval, that the creation of new local government should be based on a population in the range of 100,000 and 150,000, with the intended area to have a minimum tax-paying population of 20,000. Other recommendations are that the creation of a new local government and its administration should focus on geographical continuity, administrative convenience, and economic vibrancy of the area, and that the creation of the new local government should be based on the wishes of traditional associations, and it must be based on community requests. Now, we also have local government reforms under the Ibrahim Babangida's administration. The recommendations of the Dazuki Committee were not implemented before another regime of reforms of local governments commenced under the Ibrahim Babangida's administration. The reforms under the Babangida administration made far-reaching positive impact on local government administration. They introduced the presidential system to the Nigerian local government system. And relying on Section 5, Subsection 1 of the reform guidelines, the designation of local government chairman was changed to chief executive and accounting officer. The new rule precluded accounting officer from signing vouchers and checks, while the guidelines directed supervisory councillors to be part of the executive arm of the local government. The supervisory councillors were to be appointed by the executive chairman and were to closely work with him through their intimate involvement in the management of their respective assigned departments. Besides this, the local government council made up of elected councillors was also recognized as the legislative arm of the local government with law-making functions. In the history of local government in Nigeria, the guidelines created the separation of powers between the executive and the legislative arms. They specified the appointment proceedings for the supervisors and the election of the leader, among other things. They emphasized the relationship between the executive and the legislative arm of local government to be synonymous with the constitutional requirement between the State House of Assembly, the governor, and the commissioners. This reform did not last long. They were reversed under the ABUJA administration, thereby returning local government to the pre-1988 and 1992 reform status. Now, local government reforms in Nigeria's First Republic. The poor performance of the Nigerian local government system is part of another round of local government reform by the Obasanjo-led civil administration. It started with the inauguration of a 13-member technical committee headed by the SLUP, Alhaji Usman Sandan Diago. Some of these core causes, some of the core issues were assigned to the committee report. The goals set for the local government reform project were defeated as the federal government later suspended the election of local government political functionaries. It then established the State Independent Electoral Commission that conducted local government elections in 2004. What can be deduced from the preceding is that successive reforms of the Nigerian local government system have not yielded any significant improvement on grassroots governance. The relevance of the local government in Nigeria has continued to be questioned because they have deviated from the original mandate of promoting development at the grassroots. Now let's look at the deplorable conditions of local government in Nigeria. Local government system in Nigeria. Local government specialists and experts have over the past few years expressed increasing concern over the pathetic and deplorable conditions of local government system in Nigeria. According to Okoli, the instance of Section 162, 1999 Nigerian Constitution, tied local government to the control of state and federal governments. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, which ushered in the civil government of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, made provision for democratic governance at all levels of government in Nigeria, including the local government. However, a year into the period of the Constitution, it would appear that the provision of the Constitution are skewed more in favor of the first 2 tiers of government, federal and state level, while the third tier, the local government level, was left in the lurch to catch for democratic air. This may explain the reasons why the state governments government by state independent electoral commissions, by state governors is a reference point. Conflicting laws and guidelines for local government councils by different states has led to lack of uniformity in the structure, composition, and operations at the local government level. Some local governments are operating parliamentary, example, Anambra and Nasarawa State. On the other hand, others operate presidential system. For instance, Enugu, Ebonyi State. The State House of the Assembly arbitrary legislation that vitiates or undermines local government autonomy. State government wishful and unconstitutional suspension of the elected executive and councillors and replacing them with caretaker committees. Tampering with and diversion of local government statutory allocation by some states in the name of joint accounts, thereby constraining and preventing local government from executing, discharging, and fulfilling their constitutional responsibilities. Imposition of political appointees by state government on local government councils, whose conduct are militarized and largely geared towards serving state interests, other than those of the locality in which they find themselves. The imposition of financial responsibilities that has no direct bearing on the primary responsibilities of the local government council. For example, the office of the state chairperson, the power given to the State House of Assembly to approve the impeachment of inefficient and wanting executive chairman in office makes the chairman unresponsive to the demand of the people that voted him in. The appropriate strategy to eradicate this asymmetrical relationship between the local government and state government will start with finding ways of repositioning local government in order to contribute to their quota in national development. This forms the cardinal objective of this work in plain language. The current problems in the Nigerian local government system are due to deal with inadequate finance. Instead, they are primarily caused by corruption and mismanagement of public funds on the part of the local government functionaries, namely the chairman, the head of personnel, management, and council treasurer. The question then is, why are most local government chairmen corrupt? Local government systems are currently living in a state of destruction of the prevailing value system, a system that encourages tainted, corrupt, and illegal practices as necessary and sufficient means to end. These value systems create dishonesty, free rider mentality, disobedience to law, and disregard of expert opinion, the general public. Most importantly, it produces at the general level a corrupt mass and corrupt and inept leadership, which ultimately misappropriate public funds, thereby creating problems of inefficiency and ineffectiveness. Now let's look at the challenges of local government in grassroots development. Local governments in Nigeria face a number of challenges which hinder them from contributing meaningfully to the development of grassroots. The main challenges are as follows. Number one, financial constraint. Now, the effectiveness of local governments and the quality of local government services, particularly in developing countries, are often constrained by the limited financial resources available to them and the degree of autonomy granted by the federal state government. Adedeji identifies finance as elixir necessary to break what, in his terminology, is the vicious cycle of poverty of local government and make local governments relevant in the country's development process. Although the financial or fiscal position of the local governments in Nigeria has improved considerably in recent times, due to enhanced allocation from the federation account, this development cannot, without major institutional reform, be translated into an effective means for local governments to contribute in any significant sense to local development. Abubakar, in the first place, according to Abubakar, in the first place, the assurance of getting regular and substantial allocation for the federation account has made the statutory allocation constitutes over 80% of the total allocation of most local governments in Nigeria. Again, the structure of local government expenditure in Nigeria shows a preponderance of recurrent expenditure over capital expenditure. 3. Since a large chunk of development funds for local government come from recurrent budget surpluses, there is usually hardly anything left after taking care of recurrent expenditure, which incidentally are growing daily for reasons not totally unconnected with the new system of local government being operated in the country. And finally, the financial crisis or stress being suffered by local public of Nigeria provides as follows: that the amount standing to the credit of local government councils in the federation account shall also be allocated to the states for the benefit of their local government councils on such terms and in such manner as may be prescribed by the National Assembly. 2. Each state shall maintain a special account to be called the state joint local government account, to which shall be paid all allocations to the local government councils in the state from the federation account and from the government of the state. 3. Each state shall pay to local government councils in this area standing to the credit of local government councils of the state shall be distributed among the local government councils of the state on such terms and in such manner as may be prescribed by the House of Assembly. The above constitutional provisions are therefore clear indications of the subordination of local government to the states. The result has been unbridled interference of the state in local government affairs, particularly the confiscation of allocation to local government by some state governments. Funds meant for local government councils have been diverted to other projects by the state government. Meanwhile, the constitutional provision for state joint local government account negates both the spirit and letter of direct funding of local government from the federation account. Commenting on this state government's interference on the finances of local governments, Honor states that, regrettably, state governments will not stop at not remitting the 10% territory allocation. They also tamper with the 20% federal allocation made to local government via the state joint local government account. The resultant effect of all this of the state government's insurgence on the finances of the local government is that despite enhanced statutory allocation to local government, most of them are left with little money to execute capital projects that in fact will contribute to accelerated grassroots development. Now, personnel problem. Most local governments in Nigeria, particularly the rural ones, suffer from paucity or depth of competent manpower, particularly professionals, necessary for successful execution of rural development projects. Yet, the fact remains that the ability of any organization to achieve these goals depends largely on the caliber of its human resources. The poor financial state of many local governments in Nigeria, particularly the rural areas, makes it difficult for them to recruit and retain high caliber professionals. Service in the professional service in the local government system is therefore unattractive to high caliber manpower due to unattractive negative conditions of service and in some cases non-payment of salaries. Now the debt or lack of competent manpower in many local governments in the country is worsened by politicization of recruitment into the service, with the reluctant recruitment of incompetent staff and disregard for organizations' manpower needs. Now, the second problem is inadequate constitutional provision. The 1999 Constitution of Nigeria does not adequately guarantee the autonomy of local government system. Section 71 of the Constitution provides that the system of local government by democratically elected local government council is under the under the law which provides for the establishment, structure, composition, finance, and functions of such council. However, the Constitution contains no explicit provision guaranteeing the tenure of local government council, as it provided for the president, state governors, and the legislatures at both federal and state level. As a result of this singular omission, the various state legislatures now determine the tenure of each elected council, and the result is the lack of uniformity of tenure across the country of elected local government council. While a few of the states, provide for only 2 years tenure for some local government, staff. Others provide 2.5 years, others maybe 3 years. So there is no uniformity in the tenure of local government employees across the country. Yes. Now the next problem is lack of autonomy as interference by state government. More worrisome, in the oppositional and ceremonious termination of the tenure of elected councils by the governors and legislatures before the expiration of the mandate given to them by the people during the election, and the subsequent replacement of elected councils with caretaker committees composed of unelected and selected individuals and political associates. The committee's lifespan or tenure is at the whims and caprices of the governor. Usually, it depends on the time the governor thinks is most convenient for him politically to conduct local council elections. The practice of using caretaker committee to run the affairs of local government councils has now become the accepted norm instead of an aberration to democratic practice. As at June 2011, over 2/3 of the 774 local government councils in Nigeria are being run by non-elected caretaker committees appointed by state governors. The action of the state governors amounts to a complete contempt and disregard to the letters and intent of the 1999 Constitution, and the resultant effect has been avoidable and palpable tension, which significantly constitutes a veritable threat to the survival and operations of the local government, and indeed the ability to implement the constitutionally assigned functions. Now the next problem, lack of explicit national policies for local development and sustainable, the word that is sustainable, not MDG, sustainable development for SDGs localization. Although the benefits of decentralization, and in particular the need for localized efforts towards the sustainable development goals, are subjects of public discourse across developing countries such as Nigeria. In many cases, governments are yet to develop an explicit policy focus to target places or types of areas, rural, urban, remote, or mountain, coastal, etc., to address these challenges. For instance, sustainable development goals acceleration strategies are often not translated into localized, integrated actions that envisage a clear role for local government. Now the other problem is problem of corruption. Corruption remains a major problem which has constrained local governments in Nigeria from contributing meaningfully to the improvement of the standard of living of the local people. This problem exists in almost every local government in Nigeria. It is right in the areas of revenue declaration by collectors, to award of contracts, and embezzlement of local government funds by chairmen, councillors, and other officials of local government. Kola Wole laments this situation when he opines that the lack of funds was no more. It was published by the Newswatch magazine in December 2023, captioned "Fortress of Corruption." most local governments were indicted of fraud and corruption. The following revelations were made. Can we jump those ones? Yes. Now, the other problem is poor implementation of local government reform. The poor implementation of the recommendations of the various committees on local government reform is one of the factors explaining the limited impact of local government as agents of grassroots governance and development in Nigeria. This has continued to limit the effectiveness of the Nigerian local government system because most of the recommendations made by the various committees and accepted by the federal government remain unfulfilled. This is why the same problem detected by the Performance Panel in 1976, 1984, 1988, 2003 have continued to linger in the Nigerian local government system till today. This has turned the local government reforms in Nigeria into a rhetoric ritual that the federal government performs to draw attention and is spending public funds. Yes. Now the other problem is resistance to local government autonomy by state governments. In clear terms, since the commencement of the Fourth Republic of May 29, 1999, the fortunes of local government have not improved. Instead, the patterns of central-local relations have continued to undermine the principles of localism in the Nigerian local government system. More than ever before, local governments are now seen as a mere extension of the states, thereby lacking the powers to function without taking directives and instructions from the state government. The state governors have continued to rely on Section 7(1) of the Nigerian Constitution as amended to manipulate local government affairs. For instance, the former Osun State Governor, Mr. Rauf Adekoshola, frantically and unconstitutionally changed the established coat of arms of the local government in Osun State during his tenure to a symbol of Omo-Oluwabi, which is known to the Constitution, which is unknown to the Constitution. He went further to change the constitutional designation of executive chairman to executive secretary. Thus, in his 8 years administration in Osun State, local government was operated as a unit under his government. There was no local election conducted for his 8 years tenure in the state. The assistant executive secretaries of the local government were not even made to report directly to the governor. Even made to report directly to the governor, but instead they were answerable to the Commissioner for the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. The narratives on the reaction of the majority of the states in the Federation to local government autonomy has been unusual and questionable. The legislative houses of many states of the Federation are yet to pass a bill granting relative autonomy to Nigerian local governments. For instance, okay, go ahead. So as I said, there is therefore an urgent need to strengthen the capacity of local government in Nigeria in order to improve their performance level. Capacity development has been defined as the process. We have jumped one of these things. I have to go to the recommendations. Positioning, go back a little bit. Repositioning local government for reposition local government for accelerated development. 1. Building and strengthening capacity of local government. As I earlier stated in this paper, every country generally, and Nigeria in particular, is the inadequate or inappropriate mix of individuals, organizational and institutional capacities of the local government. Thus, while financial resources are vital to access, they are not sufficient to promote sustainable human development. The right enabling environment, well-functioning organization, and the right performing human resource base are the foundations needed to plan and implement local development strategies. Yes? There is therefore urgent need to strengthen the capacity of local governments in Nigeria in order to improve their performance level. Go on. So, number 2, creation of innovative partnerships between local government and non-state actors. Now, realizing local development potential is not just a matter for local government to act. On the contrary, all sectors of society have a role to play in promoting local government and achievement of grassroots development. Now, these non-state actors are those actors outside the realm of state institutions and the government, such as private sector, non-governmental organizations, cooperatives, trade unions, services organizations, community-based organizations, youth and women organizations, social development. All these non-state actors, particularly the community-based organizations have a very big role to play in grassroots development. Yes, next one. Now the second one, tackling the financial problem. In order to solve the financial crisis facing local government in Nigeria, there is an urgent need for a constitutional amendment to include direct funding of local government in the country. There's a degree to enable them to play more active role towards remit constitutional The next recommendation, strengthening the autonomy of local government. One way of making local governments in Nigeria an effective instrument for achieving the sustainable development goals is through constitutional amendment that will address the issues of tenure and autonomy of local government. A situation as we have now, where elected government officials have no constitutional protection for their tenure, but left to the vagaries of whims and caprice of the government, and where funds meant for councils are hijacked by the state, does not augur well for the survivor. The controversy, therefore, surrounding the position of local government in the constitution should be of general for local government in each state, and office of general for local government in each for local government in the state. The paper therefore recommends that AGON should also be represented in the National Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission for equity to be maintained. The Constitution should provide for online method in the receipt and disbursement of local government financial resources to minimize the